Imagine a nation where words from political leaders aren't just debated in halls of power. They're etched onto bullets that end lives. That's the chilling reality unfolding as Democratic leaders face intense criticism for their fiery rhetoric against immigration and customs enforcement, ICE agents. Rhetoric that some say has fueled a dangerous wave of violence. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this just heated political discourse? Or has it crossed into something that endangers lives? Let's dive in and unpack this story step by step, making sure even newcomers to these debates can follow along easily. At the heart of the uproar is the claim from Trump administration officials that inflammatory language from prominent Democrats, including members of the so-called squad and other key figures, has played a role in demonizing and dehumanizing ICE officers. This isn't just talk. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, has reported a staggering 1,000% spike in assaults on these agents while they're performing their duties. To put that in perspective, if assaults were at a baseline of 10 incidents a year, we're now talking about 100 or more. That's a massive escalation that highlights the real-world risks these law enforcement professionals face every day. The situation escalated dramatically on Wednesday when a tragic shooting occurred at an ICE field office in Dallas. The perpetrator, identified by the FBI as 29-year-old Joshua John, unleashed gunfire that claimed the life of one person and left two others injured. Authorities found ammunition at the scene with the words "anti-ICE" carved into the rounds, a stark symbol of the shooter's apparent motivations. John took his own life following the attack. According to officials, this incident has sparked widespread debate about the connection between political words and violent actions. In the aftermath, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt urged Democrats to tone down their language, stating emphatically, Democrats must stop demonizing the heroic men and women of ICE who are just doing their jobs to keep Americans safe. Yet despite this plea, several Democrats took to social media shortly after the Texas attack to share posts critical of ICE. For instance, Representative Nikki Budzinski from Illinois posted on X, formerly Twitter, just hours later, blaming ICE for dangerous and reckless immigration operations that affect the public. She wrote, "I've joined the Illinois delegation in demanding answers about DHS's dangerous and reckless operations in our state. We refuse to stand by while masked agents trample on due process, indiscriminately arrest our neighbors, and threaten immigrant communities." This kind of statement raises questions about whether such rhetoric inadvertently paints ICE agents as villains rather than public servants. Senator Mark Warner from Virginia, in a post he later deleted, echoed similar sentiments, accusing ICE of picking up moms as they drop off their kids to daycare or people going to work. And just days prior to the shooting, Representative Robin Kelly from Illinois, who's also running for Senate, compared ICE's methods to Gestapo tactics, claiming their actions are a betrayal of the values we swear to uphold. These comparisons to historical atrocities like the Gestapo, the secret police of Nazi Germany, are particularly provocative, drawing parallels that many find inflammatory and potentially harmful. And this is the part most people miss. Even top Democratic leaders have weighed in with strong words. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries from New York accused Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, of aiming to unleash masked ICE agents on the American people. Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, a former presidential candidate, wrote on X that ICE is targeting community members with no criminal record. Agents are sitting outside of churches and schools, driving unmarked vans and breaking car windows. These violent ICE arrests don't make us safer. They intentionally stoke fear and tear communities apart. On the Senate floor, Senator Dick Durbin from Illinois went further, alleging that federal officials are targeting individuals based on brown skin and a Hispanic surname. He explained, ICE is arresting first and asking questions later. I've seen the devastating impacts of these policies in my state of Illinois. People are fearful of masked men in unmarked vans who can grab them at any time because of how they look or their voice accent. Durbin added that parents are terrified to take their kids to school, and businesses are suffering as people are scared to go to work. These descriptions paint a picture of widespread fear, but they also invite scrutiny. Are these portrayals accurate? Or do they oversimplify complex enforcement efforts? Members of the squad have been particularly vocal and criticized for their stance. The day before the Dallas attack, Representative Ilhan Omar from Minnesota shared a news post, which she later removed, claiming ICE used a 5-year-old autistic child as bait to apprehend her undocumented father. DHS has disputed this account, stating that the father, Edwards Hit Mejia, left the child behind during a pursuit. Omar's repost included the comment, "This is vile and beyond cruel. Abolish ICE." Meanwhile, Representative Ayanna Pressley from Massachusetts accused President Trump and ICE of an absolutely shameful campaign of terrorizing our communities to the point that students are too afraid to go to school. Representative Rashida Tlaib from Michigan has labeled ICE actions under Trump as an illegal abduction in the case of Columbia student and activist Mahmoud Khalil. And Representative Pramila Jayapal from Washington stated that ICE is racially profiling and kidnapping people just for looking Latino or speaking Spanish, adding, Trump is turning our law enforcement into his own secret police to terrorize our communities. These accusations of racial profiling and secret policing evoke memories of oppressive regimes, sparking heated debates about whether they're fair critiques or exaggerated claims. In response, DHS has issued a strong call to end the dehumanization of ICE agents. They posted on X, "The men and women of ICE are fathers and mothers, sons and daughters. They get up every morning to try and make our communities safer. The violence and dehumanization of these men and women who are simply enforcing the law must stop." DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, speaking on Fox News after the Dallas incident, noted that the rhetoric has led to ICE agents and their families being doxxed and targeted. It's absolutely unacceptable, and I do think it's incumbent, really, upon the media, upon politicians. We've got to turn the rhetoric down. We don't want anyone to be hurt. We don't want anyone to get killed. This is an awful day, she said. President Trump himself weighed in on Truth Social following the shooting, declaring, "I am calling on all Democrats to stop this rhetoric against ICE and America's law enforcement right now." This direct appeal underscores the administration's belief that words can lead to bloodshed. But here's the controversy that really gets people talking. While some argue that Democrats are rightfully highlighting injustices in immigration enforcement, others contend that such rhetoric emboldens extremists and puts lives at risk. Is there a middle ground where criticism of policies can exist without vilifying the people carrying them out? Or does the First Amendment protect even the most heated political speech, no matter the consequences? What do you think? Does this rhetoric cross a line, or is it a necessary part of holding power accountable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear agreements, disagreements, or even counterpoints I might have missed. After all, in a democracy, these conversations are what keep us informed and engaged.